You're going to want to watch this episode if the question becomes is, do you need to actually be able to articulate your purpose to be credible? Or if you actually can articulate your purpose, are you more credible? That's the answer you're going to get in this episode. You know, today's question or questions came from Sarah D, who said in a private chat to me, Mitchell, I love your focus on purpose. And in particular, the desire to have one's purpose and tying that into credibility. So let me turn it into a question. The question can be, do people who don't clearly articulate their purpose, are they not credible? Or the corollary to that is, for those people who are credible, or for those people who actually can maintain or state their purpose, are they automatically credible? These are great questions now that I ask them out loud. First, let me state that based on the research, so the 500 people I interviewed and now over 1,000 people that I've talked to about their purpose, being able to articulate their purpose through the form of a CPoP. CPoPs are customer pointed possibilities. Being able to articulate their purpose in 10 words or less, 98% of the population, based on 1,000 people that I've talked to, cannot do that. 98%. Now, just because people can't articulate their purpose doesn't mean they're not credible. So the corollary is to have, or do people who articulate their purpose, are they particularly more credible? I'm going to say the answer is yes. So what happens when you can clearly articulate your purpose, when you can have, and I look at that CPoP, that customer point of possibilities, I look at that as your compass. When you've identified and can clearly articulate and have even reinforced your compass, your CPoP in everything you do, people see you. You appear more authentic because the things that you say are reflected everywhere in the things that you do. You appear to have more external integrity as long as you're living out loud and reinforcing your CPoP. Now, sometimes you don't always see the internal integrity, and sometimes people get lost by not following the internal integrity when they really should. That is in line with their CPoP, their purpose. Now, having the intent and commitment to do the right thing. So having a CPoP that when you say it out loud, other people can easily see whether or not they actually fall into the camp of saying, hey, I'm interested in that, or I want to recommend you to others. So I'm going to say having a purpose that's clearly articulated, one in which you not only can just immediately echo it out of your mouth, but is also reinforced in your asynchronous presence, does make you appear to be more credible. Now, I use those words very carefully. So can you cheat other people by making yourself look more credible when you're not really more credible? Technically, you can. When you start talking to people synchronously, if you don't live the values of being credible, people feel it. The really cool part, when a group of people get together and they echo their purpose, they echo it through the lens of their CPoP, you feel it in the audience. I've been doing lots of group exercises where people actually will state their CPoP and let everyone in the audience feel it, and they feel it, they say yes, and it's such both a reaffirming action for the people stating it, but also really powerful for the people who are receiving it. Because if you could feel somebody else's CPoP, if you could feel somebody else's purpose, guess what's going to happen? If you're somebody who is interested in that service, you're going to talk to them. If you know somebody in your community that's interested in that service or that product, you're going to recommend them. So, are you not credible if you don't have your purpose? I'm going to say no. Many people can live life under the 10 skills associated with being credible and have many of those clicked off without necessarily having a clearly articulated purpose statement in place. When I look at a CPoP and 98% of people don't have their purpose at least articulated in that way, that doesn't mean they're not credible. Particularly the research study we did on people who considered themselves credible or not credible, or other people credible or not, although the numbers were greater than 50% are not perceived as being credible. It's not 98%. So clearly, not having articulated purpose doesn't mean you're not credible. Now we'll go back to the other question. If you can clearly articulate your purpose, does that make you be perceived as more credible? And the answer is yes, if you reinforce it everywhere. So if you're able to actually fully articulate who you are in 1 to 3 seconds, that's the CPoP. If you can articulate your CPoP in 1 to 3 seconds, and then you reinforce it everywhere, not just in all the actions that you take, so you're authentically showing up the same way, not that you have the external integrity, not just in how you show up, but also when people check you out online. Either interviews you've done, where at one point in time you were synchronous, but now they're checking you out asynchronously. But your website, your social media, do you continually reinforce that purpose which is yours? Because when you do, you show up credibly. So I'm going to suggest that you focus on, and this is the Credibility Playbook, you focus on your compass, which is your CPoP. That's step 1. Step 2, it helps make better decisions. And if you're making better decisions that are in line with your compass, guess what? You're more credible. And step 3 is you start demonstrating the behaviors, the values that you maintain are along the lines of your CPoP. And over time, as people perceive you seeing those behaviors coming out that are reinforcing your CPoP, you're more credible. My CPoP is 4 words. Leaders living their values. Now, when I say that, when I feel that, this is what I want for all of you. I want you all to be leaders, whether you're leaders of people or leaders of a good life, whether you're servant leaders or whatever it is that you do. I want you to be able to live your values. I want you to live life credibly. That's mine. What's yours? Anyhow, Sarah D, thanks for getting me to think about this. I really appreciate your comments to me, and I look forward to whatever it is that we end up doing together. I encourage all of you to live your lives credibly.